What's up, everybody? Brett here with Good Talk Gaming, bringing you the first ever episode of my new series on Kingdom Rush. Now, Kingdom Rush is a tower defense game. It's been out for quite a long time. This is actually game 1 in a 3-game series. This game was developed by Ironhide Studios, and it was originally made for mobile, I believe. And kind of full disclosure, I have played all 3 of those games ad nauseum, 100% of them, all the DLC, and I love them all to death. But after having beaten them all, I put them down for a long time, and now I'm getting the itch to play them again. And I figured if I was going to do that, I should just go ahead and record it and put it up on the channel. Now, I went ahead and I bought the PC version, which is significantly more expensive than the mobile version. I believe you can probably get this for free right now, which is pretty nuts considering it's probably the best tower defense game there is. For those of you who've never played a tower defense game, I'm going to go over what that entails as we get into the first level. But I'm not exactly sure where tower defense as a genre originated. I can say that many years ago, when Warcraft 3's multiplayer and StarCraft's multiplayer were kind of in their heyday, there was entire communities based around all of these original tower defense games, and I was very happy as a kid to be a part of those communities and play those games to death. So let's go ahead and start a new game. And I will say that something that's kind of already off the bat kind of bothering me, I recorded about an hour of this already. I thought it went pretty well, and I was happy to upload it to YouTube. However, in the options menu, under the sound options, you actually have to bring, the sliders are almost irrelevant. You have to bring them down all the way to get the sound correct. It came across as if I was mumbling, and the music and the effects were actually extremely loud. And I think I'm actually going to have to do that in-game as well. So let's go ahead and jump in. And that could just be a symptom of, it being a game that's been ported to PC. So here, like I said, I have 100% of this game. I don't really have anything to prove when it comes to beating it on Veteran. I have done so many times. For a nice kind of relaxing experience, let's just keep it on normal. It'll allow me to talk through my strategies, and if we see a level that we want to go Veteran for, believe we can switch over at a later time. Okay, awesome. So here we'll get into the heroes later as we unlock them. And this, I believe, is part of maybe why they're selling it at a higher price than they do for mobile, is that it does, I believe, come with all of these bonus heroes unlocked as you progress through the game. Upgrades, as we beat levels, we'll unlock those. Achievements, take a quick look. One thing that the Kingdom Rush series is known for is their quality, I guess you call them just memes. They're references to old games, old pop culture references, and they hide a lot of stuff in the levels that you can find, little Easter eggs that kind of make each level unique and enjoyable, and you'll unlock achievements for doing that. And I will say one main difference from the PC version to the mobile is this map. This map is beautiful, and I'm seeing a lot of cool little details here and there. This ghost and this whale that pops up here. Yeah, I could watch stuff like this all day. I do love this game. So I'm actually going to read this for you guys. There is story in this game. It's not very involved, and it just consists of these little tidbits, pre-level. So, greetings, noble and heroic warrior. As a general of His Majesty's forces, King Denos requires your services. The inhabitants of the city of Southport have reported attacks by highwaymen and other roaming outlaws. You must take a battalion to Southport to bolster the city's defenses. Good luck, General. So let's jump in. Alright. And this is basically telling us what a tower defense game is for those of you who are not aware. Take a second to read that, and I'm going to actually break it down for you. We have 4 different types of towers to choose from, and we place them on a strategic point. These are our 4 tower types: archer, barracks, mages, and artillery, and they each have their own benefit, and understanding that is really key to understanding this game. So the enemies will come from this starting position, follow this path, and their goal is to get here, and our goal is to stop them. So this being the first mission, it's going to hold our hand.
Dodge this.
That's fine. We'll build an archer tower there, and let's build
Honor and glory.
a barracks here, and tell our guys to stand down here. In addition to that, we will build a dwarven bombard.
Want some? Get some.
So here we're already using 3 of our towers. Let's check out this new enemy, Goblin. Low health, average speed. And we can actually click on them to see they do 1 to 4 damage, they have 20 health, and no armor. And if they make it all the way to the end, they cost us 1 of our 20 lives. We're actually going to call the next wave early. Archers have decent range and a good rate of fire. And they're cheap. Let's call another wave early. And that's going to prompt us to get our first special power every 10 seconds. So you'll see me use that reinforcements here. Gives us some little farmer guys, pitchforks, that'll help us block up the road so that our towers can do their work. I went with the dwarven bombard here. This is kind of the prime position for our defensive towers. You'll notice this green aura being the range of the tower, and the more of the map that we actually cover, the more of the path that we cover with this green, the more effective our tower is. So let's see, we have another new enemy, the orc. They actually have a little bit of armor and more health. So 80 health, they actually hurt, 4 to 8 damage, and low armor. We can call the next wave too. Check these tips. So it's basically explaining how armor works. Understood. And this is telling us how to move our soldiers around to defend strategic points. Let's go ahead and build another dwarven bombard here, taking advantage of this concave in the road and our little blockade that we have set up here. And since we can't upgrade our towers yet, we're going to expand. This being the first mission and all. And every time we call the next wave early, we reduce the cooldown on our reinforcements and our new ability here, this fiery bombard, which I'm going to use in a second just to show you guys. Here we go. Try and target the orcs, as they are the scarier, higher value target. And this is wave 7 of 7. We're almost done. You can just mess around a little bit, drop some towers, just to show you the mage tower and its stats. But that's it. And we got 3 stars. Very simple for our first level. So it wants us to buy upgrades, so I think we will. Okay. And here, I'm not going to grab this first. I don't see us needing to sell our towers. I am, however, going to get toughness training, spell reach, and concentrated fire. Very good early game upgrades. And here, I'm going to go ahead and show you the 2 different challenge modes attached to each level. There's Heroic and the Iron Challenge. Now, Heroic will limit our upgrade levels that we're allowed to have, and it will also keep us from using heroes. So let's jump into that. There are 6 waves, and they'll be more focused, it'll be more difficult.
For honor and glory.
So let's actually...
Archers ready for the king.
There we go. We're going to pop our guys down here and give our cooldowns a chance to reset.
Freedom.
And we're going to explode that sheep for value on this one as well. Sometimes you just got to make the sheep explode. It's stop these windmills. Where we're going, we don't need wind.
Bullseye. Have at thee.
And you can just make little micro adjustments to your soldiers. The goal here is to make a bit of crossfire. This point here is where we want our enemies to stop so that we can get maximum damage out of our towers. And let's call the next wave early. And we're going to pop those orbs
Reinforce.
and just take them out. We're going to do the same thing here. We're going to make another
For honor and
good spot
glory.
for holding them back. And a few guys are going to leak here. Leak being a term for when you allow your enemies to make it past your towers.
Dodge this.
Calling them early is going to hopefully speed up our fiery bombard. And we don't want to leak again because we don't have anything past here to effectively defend. A little more gold and upgrade that. This is the best spot on the map, as I mentioned, so even though we're not making full use of this yet, we still do want to put our bombard here. And let's knock those guys out. Sorry, buddy.
To battle.
Call them early. Let's make it happen.
Freedom.
A little bit more, a little bit more. 125. Let's go.
Reinforce.
Just need one kill. Come on. There we go.
Fully loaded. Rah!
We almost have our fiery bombard. Oh no, we're leaking.
Bullseye. Freedom.
Almost got it. Let's just give these guys a noble death and fireball to the face, and we got it. So for this we'll get one additional star. Each level is worth 5 stars if you complete the challenges. And it is worth it to do that. So we don't have to worry about spending points and wasting them, you know, quote unquote, because we can reset them and realign them as we need for a particular map, which is adds a little bit of depth to some of these strategies. So for instance, you know, if we wanted to go into our upgrades and just rush a particular upgrade, that would not do us any good when we go to do, let's say, the Iron Challenge, because it will limit us to upgrade level 1. So here it's restricting our towers as well. And another key difference to note is that in the Iron Challenge there's one continuous wave. So instead of 6 waves, we'll just have one solid never-ending wave. Good. It actually saved our sound options. That's good. Okay. Getting a little paranoid there, because nothing makes you more paranoid than recording for an hour and then having to restart based on kind of a silly sound issue. Okay. So by hovering over this little icon here, we're able to see exactly what the incoming wave will be composed of. And because this is the first level, it's only going to be orcs and goblins.
For the king. Have at thee. Want some? Get some. Charge.
And let's make
Honor
a
and
really
glory.
strong
For the king.
position here.
Have at thee.
And we'll be able to hold this
Reinforce.
with a lot of guys. And you'll notice I start by putting this barracks here as opposed to here or here. And that's because this barracks, to me as someone who's played a lot of tower defenses, in this game in particular, I see this kind of inverse curve here. And this being on the outside, to me, makes it a worse tower placement for a tower where the range itself is valuable. The barracks only needs to be able to place its its towers in positions where its soldiers can reach a certain spot and be valuable. But were I to put, let's say, an archer tower here, I would be missing out on quite a bit of its available range. I wouldn't be getting maximum value from its range. And in these early levels, that doesn't matter as much, but in the later levels, it matters a lot. And the sooner you kind of grab onto that strategy, the better. And let's go ahead and nuke these guys before they start overwhelming our front line here. And we're going to make a secondary line just like this one. And now's the time. Push these guys forward so that they're standing within the field of fire of this dwarven bombard. And this is it. These are the last guys, so we can actually sell here and back these guys up. And that was a bit of a slick move. I sold my useless towers at the last second to quickly prop up my back line. And that's a good little tactic you can use in some of the more difficult later levels to get you through it on the last wave when it looks like you're going to leak and you're going to lose. That is a good strategy. Alright. Let's just grab better armor for our soldiers. They're always in there getting us value. So let's see. Good job. Your diligent investigations have revealed that it was not mere brigands terrorizing Southport, but organized bands of goblins and orcs. Now their forward troops are creeping towards the defenseless rural communities north of Southport. We must establish an efficient and swift defense. So let's jump in to the outskirts. Alright, so the game is making the level 2 towers available to us. And you'll notice they change aesthetically and their stats will change. So we can get more into that as we go. So we're just going to get some goblins here. This is a beautiful spot for a bombard. And this is a pretty good spot for an archer tower. Let's get these guys going. Here we go. And this is basically just showing you what my strategy was. You know, hold them in place with one tower and shoot them with all the others. I'll probably use this as a barracks. Although this, in the picture it shows this is a barracks. That might actually be a better strategy. Getting kind of a four-way overwatch fire in this one little spot. Let's call them early. It's very useful to get that extra gold. And we want to time our calling in such a way that it resets the cooldown here and we get even more value from our guys. And here we can actually upgrade either of these. Let's upgrade our archer tower. They're going to be firing probably the most amount of time. This costs 220, but it is a significant increase in the DPS of that tower. So new enemies, wolves. They can dodge melee attacks. So they're really good at taking out our soldiers. Let's see what their stats are. No armor, low damage, low health. But they're really going to kind of gunk up this spot here. And I'm not big on spending my gold unless I have to. miss a lot of value if you place a particular tower here. You see that it's useless, it's not getting any kills, so to speak, and then you have to sell it later to try and bolster a particular part. The best thing you can do is hold off on wasting that. Should have placed that, then called, and done it again. But let's go ahead and kill all the orcs there. And we can upgrade this if we want. It's not as effective against the loosely strung along orcs. Very good against the goblins though. I'm actually going to place this dwarven bombard here, and let's set this up as another three-way firing spot. Some more guys, call down early. And another neat little trick, if you see all your soldiers die relatively quickly, you can easily upgrade this tower, and 3 fresh upgraded troops will come out at the last second. Lots of dwarven bombards. This is wave 7, this is the last wave. So once they get caught up here, we'll probably just nuke these guys. Kill all the orcs. And that'll be it. Now there are lots of secret things on these maps. I know where a lot of them are in the latter 2 games. I haven't played this one in quite some time. I'm not familiar with where some of the hidden things are in this. But keep your eyes peeled, you might see something I don't. Okay. Before we pick our upgrades, let's actually look in here and see what the limitations are for the heroic and iron. So we can have level 2 upgrades. And we're going to do those before we move on, because we want to have the maximum stars available to us before we go to the next level. That way we have the maximum number of upgrades available. I like getting increased attack range. And we'll start working on our powers as we get more. You can see they're more expensive per point. And I do favor using the reinforcements and getting these upgrades, because at max level, once they're able to throw spears and they're very sturdy, they end up doing tons of work for you. Okay, so let's jump into this heroic challenge. And let's try this.
Want some? Get some. To battle.
We'll place something here ASAP to give us extra coverage.
Freedom.
And the difference between heroic and iron levels and the standard levels is that if you leak even once, you'll see here we only have 1 life. If we leak once, it's over. Definitely want to call them early. Let's see what the range is like on these. We do have greater range because of our upgrades on these. Let's see how far we can. We want these to overlap. We want to put these our soldiers right where the overlap is. And if this was a later map, I would be worried about air units. So that's kind of why I like to mix up what I place where. This would actually probably be pretty good if it was just another dwarven bombard. Let's kill those guys. And stop them. And the mage tower is good against units who don't have any kind of magic resistance. They do very high single target damage. And they don't miss. So very good. And let's set this up in a good spot. Take care of the orcs. Let's not let our guys get overwhelmed. Upgrade our soldiers. They should be pretty tanky now. They actually have armor now. Low armor. They do a little bit of damage. And they have pretty good health. So each one of these is more than a match for an orc. And I think we're going to need this. We are leaking. Oh no! Upgrade our guys. And wow, we pulled it out. Great. So we get that extra star. Can we upgrade anything? No, not yet. And let's knock out the iron challenge while we're here. Okay, there are limitations. We cannot use soldiers here. Interesting.
Dodge this! Like a charm.
Gonna have to rely heavily on our little farmer guys. These poor peasants.
Reinforce!
Hold these guys in place for us. You see our mage tower is almost one-shotting them. And we're going to want a dwarven bombard here to deal with all of these goblins. Hopefully we can get one soon.
To battle!
Maybe we just get another mage tower. That'd be fun. They're kind of one of the lesser used towers early game.
Reinforce!
When the game starts throwing hordes of enemies at you, one of the best things to use is the dwarven bombard. So you come to rely on it pretty heavily. But because these guys are really efficient at taking out these goblins, they're actually doing just fine.
To battle!
We've got this little kill zone set up.
Freedom! Fully loaded! Reinforce!
There we go. And if we upgraded this, it would be probably one-shotting them, so that might be worth looking at. Let's just clear the board a little bit. Well, it would definitely, yeah, it would be one-shotting the goblins. So let's do that. Maybe should have upgraded this one just to get that range bonus so that we could possibly clip the ones as they come across the top. And then higher DPS is going to be great for dealing with the orcs. This actually is making me want to sell it and just get more mage towers. But we should be fine. We can drop some mage towers here. And we want to keep them here because this is our best tower. We want them to be under attack from him. Our little conehead boy. As long as they're low enough that when they get here, they're getting taken out, we are happy. We don't want to use another archer tower because they do have armor. Even low armor. Get another mage tower. And drop some fire. And close out this game. So, good job. And we got another star. So you'll notice we still haven't unlocked heroes yet, but that's coming. I want to say it's after this level here. So we can unlock well-fed farmers. It's going to make those little summons more resilient. I love this lighthouse effect. Kind of hypnotizing me. Okay, let's jump in. Pagras. While your men celebrate your victory over the goblinoid and orcish troops, a messenger bears bad news. The township of Pagras is under siege by an overwhelmingly superior force. This is clearly an attack on the kingdom. War is upon us. Let's jump on in. So we're going to see some new enemies on this map. And this map is strategically much more interesting than the last two. Right here is our major choke point. And we're going to have enemies that actually will spawn from more than one path. So it'll be much more interesting. Let's go ahead and... I know I want to put a soldier here. To make sure he's standing at this choke point. And let us... place one Dwarven Bombard here. And let's get an Archer Tower here. This will hit every unit that walks by. Should get some pretty decent value. And let's stall them. We'll stall them up here. Can we light this on fire? Nope. Can we break these barrels? Nope. In the later two games, Kingdom Rush Frontier, almost everything in the environment seems to be interactable. It's very fun. Especially once you've done a level several times trying to beat it or figure out a new strategy. It's very enjoyable to have something kind of in the background to mess with, like these exploding sheep. Here we go, the enemies are splitting up. And we're going to want to put another Dwarven Bombard here. And probably, let's call them early, see if we can handle it. Make sure we get these orcs here. Get that Dwarven Bombard online ASAP. And let's block up this top. Put them as far as they can go here. And we may actually put another one to make this really solid. That way, this part here holds, and the top lane never overflows into here. And in this way, we make two solid choke points. Let's do that. Summon as soon as possible to get maximum value. These guys are here. So let's put these guys here as well. Make them stand on top of each other. We don't have to worry about any kind of AoE effects, magic in these earlier levels, so stacking our soldiers won't be terrible for us. And later versions, later maps rather, you stack all your soldiers in one spot and they could all die to either a random map effect, some enemy doing some sort of AoE attack, and you can lose on the spot from doing that. So something to keep in mind. We can hold off for a bit. Let's upgrade these to level 2. As I mentioned before, they are always going to be firing. They're gonna touch basically every unit that comes through. So having them doing their maximum damage as soon as possible should be pretty good. Yeah, we want to upgrade these guys. Even if these guys fail and they come all the way through, having these guys as our last line of defense, we want them to be as strong as possible. So here we have a new enemy. It's our first enemy that has magic resistance. They're resistant to magic attacks and they heal. So we want to prioritize killing these guys if we can. Summon another early wave. They're vulnerable to archer towers. They don't like to fight soldiers. And a lot of times it is good practice just to nuke them with your bombard ability when you get the chance. So when these orcs kind of clump up here, I'll probably just drop a fireball right on them. Take them out. Let's not let him heal the healers. That's where you start getting into trouble. When the healers start healing healers, you get a problem. Call another group early. Get that extra income. Make this wall here really strong. Nobody's getting past us. Here we need to start focusing. We're clearing these guys very well, but we need to start focusing on our single target damage. These archers excel at that, and the mage towers excel at that. It's a little worrisome to get something when the healers here are resistant to magic. I really want to get a tier 2 mage tower here. And I think I will. You'll see soon we're in for a bit of a surprise on this map. Let's upgrade these guys. Help them out. Let's get an archer tower and upgrade it as soon as possible. So here's going to be our first big boy. The ogre. Big, ugly, and tough. If they make it all the way through, they'll actually take 3 of our 20 lives, so we don't want that to happen. But they are slow. And even though they have a very huge 800 hit point pool, there's only one of them. So, and another little trick here we can do. We're going to separate these healers from this ogre. And we're going to give our guys some time to work him down. I'm actually going to drop a nuke on them and get this resetting. So you see, they're doing good work. Want to upgrade this as soon as possible. And no problem, we took him down. Another little handy tactic in tower defenses is to split the wave. You know, having all of the enemy crash down on one position at once can be very painful. So using a summon ability like this to stagger them, he's here now and he's here, as opposed to him being here and engaging at the same time. Let's keep him here for a minute and let him just take tons of fire. You can see his health is rapidly dropping. And when we kill one of these guys, we're going to be able to upgrade this, get that increased range. And in situations like this, it'll be able to fire. Let's pull these guys back just a little bit. And I think we're gonna nuke right here. Try and get rid of these healers. I'm not as worried about the healers as I am about the ogres mixed with the healers. That's where you start running into problems. Let's upgrade this. Even if it's just shooting at a single target, it does do a lot of damage. 22 to 44 is a lot. And it's actually our last guy, so too easy. And we will take our 3 stars. Thank you very much. And we have unlocked a hero. So we now have Sir Gerald Lightseeker. Good melee, he has no ranged attack to speak of, he's kind of fast. Let's read his bio real quick. Defender of the righteous, punisher of the dark, protector of the innocent. Gerald is the uncanny of Lyneria's armed forces. And his special abilities are Courage and Shield of Retribution. So I do believe he bolsters the abilities of your soldiers. And the Shield of Retribution, I think, might just be a personal, like maybe a temporary invulnerability or shield for him. Not so sure. I don't quite remember. But before we jump ahead to the next one, I think I'm going to call it, I'm going to do the heroic and iron challenges for this level. And I think I'm going to call that a day and save Twin Rivers for next time. So let's check out the heroic and iron levels. So we can have our upgrades level 2. So let's use our 3 stars to get even better recruits. And let's jump into heroic. Okay. We can employ a bit of the same strategy we used last time.
Want some? Get some. Dodge this.
Let's see how that works out.
Freedom.
Let's stagger these guys a bit. Call some early.
Nachos ready.
Bombard doing work. And we may make our little soldier defensive position up here as soon as possible. I think we will. We're getting slightly overwhelmed. I want to make sure these guys are in the optimal place. A little bit more gold and we can drop another soldier here. Have them in the same spots. Should have used that first, would have shaved a couple seconds off of its next cooldown. Want to get another bombard as soon as possible. And there we go. Doing great. Our archer towers are softening these guys up nicely, so that when they finally get into range of the bombards, they're able to nearly one-shot them. Let's get that mage tower online. Should do very well at dealing with these orcs and goblins. Want to call them early. Get these healers off this map in preparation for these ogres we have coming. This is going to be a little rough. I wish this was upgraded already. Let's separate these guys. Could be very dangerous calling the next wave early, but we are going to risk it. And I'm going to drop this. Free up our guys to try and take care of this ogre on their own. And unfortunately, I think these healers were able to heal this ogre. Not good. Try and keep them back. The healers are at least separated from the ogre, so that's something. Gotta focus, gotta get it. Let's bring our guys down here. We need to kill these two. Oh man. So close. Can we stop them here? Gotta get rid of these healers. We need him fighting these guys. This is rough. I don't think we can hold. And I think we're gonna leak, unfortunately. Yeah, calling that wave early might have been a little too ambitious. So we're gonna leak here. We're gonna lose our first level. And that's fine. Let's try again. Let's get this one done.
Have that thee! Charge!
Trying to think if there's something we could do differently. I think our opener was solid. Our opener was fine. It got us into the later stages. I want to call these first few waves early. I'm sure we get that extra couple dozen gold.
Reinforce! For honor and glory! For the king!
Talking to me, sheep?
To battle! Have that thee! Charge! For honor and glory!
Stack these guys on top of each other.
Reinforce!
Call another wave early. Need every bit of gold we can get. And we want at least one more Dwarven Bombard to deal with the hordes of goblins that are kind of soaking up a lot of the fire that we need to go to our ogres and not to the little guys.
To battle!
We could actually think about placing more soldiers here.
Have that thee!
I think we're going to do that.
Charge! Freedom! For honor and glory!
Something like this.
Reinforce!
Let's get those healers off the board.
Have that thee! Dodge this!
Going deathly quiet because I'm focusing.
To battle!
Tower defenses are serious business. We're not going to call this wave early. I think this is the one we could get away with it. But I don't want to be wrong.
Freedom!
Really want to keep these guys away from these ogres. Really need more single target damage.
Archers ready to battle.
Don't want these guys to heal him. We worked hard to get him down.
Bullseye. Reinforce.
Things seem to be going well.
Dodge this. To battle.
We're not exactly swimming in gold right now. Let's clear out the chaff so that our towers can start focusing on the danger guys.
Reinforce.
Yeah, no heals for you.
Rah! Charge.
Let's get our top line up here a little tougher.
For honor and glory.
That should be able to hold these guys back for a while.
Freedom.
And we can call these
Reinforce.
this last wave a little early because I think we're going to kill these guys before they're able to make a difference. Yeah, let's keep them right here. Focus them down. Excellent.
To battle. Hail to the king, baby.
And I'm going to upgrade this because it's just so much damage. Even to a single target, it's more than double.
Freedom.
These guys are making a 3 stack, so let's go ahead and put some damage on them while we can. They don't have a healer.
Reinforce.
Let's keep them up here for as long as possible. Putting damage on them and keeping them separated from these healers. And some of them got through, but these guys probably won't be able to break through the never-ending soldier torrent.
For the king.
Let's get our other guys involved,
Have at thee.
upgrade them. And this is actually out of the fight, so
Freedom.
we can sell that. And with 200 gold, we're just grinding them out.
Reinforce.
Yeah, really holding the ogres back with these 2 barracks, these footman barracks, really allowed us to neutralize all the healers right at the start. And without healers, these guys are just big dumb idiots. Good night. We got it, and we didn't have to spend 450 gold. Awesome. So let's grab our star. Can't spend it. And we just have iron mode. Let's get it done. So no dwarven bombards. So lots of single target damage is what we need. So we'll probably just do something very similar to what we did before. Good deal of footmen.
Archers ready for the king.
And we can go ahead and start
Have at thee.
this
Charge
battle here with
for honor and glory.
our little setup already ready to go. And I think we can probably do this with just archer
Bullseye.
and barracks towers. That should be fine. And I think this time we're going to use this as our barracks spot. We want this to be something that can fire, and this spot here didn't even get used at all for our previous go. I think that was a little bit of a misplacement that ended up not hurting us.
Freedom.
We want maximum efficiency out of our towers and our tower placements.
Archers ready.
So this is kind of the edge, this is kind of the edge. Right there. Get our guys right a little bit the sweet spot where everyone is shooting
Reinforce.
in their correct spots. And we can bring these guys to the maximum point here.
And glory.
Good. We're going to look to start upgrading soon.
To battle.
We can nuke these orcs. They're getting pretty clustered.
Bullseye.
Let's upgrade there and start helping out this top part. And the few units that trickle down aren't enough to overwhelm this bottom area.
Reinforce. Dodge this.
These guys basically never stop firing, so giving them the upgrades is value.
To battle.
Upgrading these to the footman barracks essentially doubles their effectiveness. More than twice the damage, and I think that was more than twice the health. And actually giving them armor lets them stand and fight quite well. I like having one group
Reinforce.
in each spot be upgraded. That way if the little guys are taking kind of the hits for the big guys, giving them a chance to respawn. I think that's a solid strategy. And here, if they don't pair these guys with healers, they're not that scary.
Archers ready.
Upgrade him just so he can hit right here.
Charge.
I want all three of these to be able to fire here, so let's not waste any of our DPS.
To battle.
And a lot of times if you want to figure out how the level itself should be played, you can go and look at the Iron Mode challenge, see which towers it's telling you not to use, and that'll kind of give you a hint of what's important on that particular map. So it's telling us here that the Dwarven Bombards weren't necessary and we couldn't build them. Tells us that this map is all about single target damage. And that's what we did. And we did it. We didn't even need to upgrade our towers. So we did that quite well. Awesome. And now we can go and unlock 2 additional meteors. More damage on that. So that's great. And then our next fight, I want to say we can use our first hero. But that's going to be it for today, guys. Once again, my name is Brett. My channel is Good Talk Gaming. It's a fairly new channel. And I would love it if you came and subscribed. If you liked the video, please leave a thumbs up. And if you want to leave a comment, you'll be one of my first commenters ever. And I would look forward to reading and replying to you. And my kind of goal and my dream for this YouTube channel is to be a community of friends who kind of gather around gaming. And if that's something that sounds good to you, then you're welcome to join. So without any further ado, guys, I will see you in part 2, and I'll be uploading these probably maybe every 2 days or so. I am doing quite a few different other genres of games on my channel, and I'll probably be doing quite a few more. So hopefully there's something on here that you like, and yeah, that's something you could tell me in the comments section. If there's a particular game you want to see, or a genre that you want to see represented on my channel, you know, as an early subscriber and an early commenter, you know, your feedback is that much more valuable to me. So I'll leave it at that, and thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.